Hey everyone, and welcome to the results video for the mini video game contest. In this contest, all the players had to recreate something from any video game. Now, you'll probably recognize this one since the name is actually written over here. This is from Super Mario Odyssey, and this is one of the entries that you will see in the upcoming video. Anyway, I will show all the entries that were made for this contest. I will start with the one that got last place, and I'll finish by announcing who's the winner of this round. Alright, in last place we have this entry from Armageddon, who told me he speed ran this entry. So this looks like a farm from Age of Empires. I think it's actually quite a nice recreation. Here's a ride called Sheep Slaughter. The story was quite funny. It was something about that it was themed to the beginning of a game where all the players are slaughtering all the sheep in order to create armies to kill each other, obviously. But yeah, I think this was quite a nice building. I think it's quite recognizable. Alright, then we have a tie for 14th place. This is the entry from R. Kirsch. And he recreated a scene from Zelda Breath of the Wild. You can see the Twin Peaks here. At least I think it's the Twin Peaks. I read something about that in the story. Here you can see one of those towers which you can climb up. I quite like the materials that he used for it. Here you can see one of these Bokoblin camps. Here's one of these stables. With, I guess this is the horse hut that goes on top. And of course a little bit of landscaping right next to the mountain. Now I actually quite like all these details here. There's also a guardian over here. But I do think these mountains here maybe could have been detailed a little bit more. They look a little bit bland compared to the rest of the map. But still I do think it's quite recognizable. Okay, here's the entry from Soccer Dude XX. He made this recreation of Tecmo Super Bowl, if I'm not mistaken. Looks like an American football game. Now, I haven't really played the game myself, but I do think at least this area of the map looks quite nice. And it's also nice to have these grandstands over here. That's all pretty nice. What I think could have used a little bit more attention is the stuff that's under the grandstands. For example, you can see some grass peeking through over here. Also some grass over here. And also over here you can see the entrance, some more grass. Probably instead of grass you'll want to have some other flooring under the grandstands. And maybe put something here so you cannot actually see through it. But yeah, that's just something I would have done. I think if that was done, it would have all looked a little bit more finished. But still, I think the field is pretty cool. I also like how we used these frozen guests over here, or these frozen entertainers in guest costumes. Now, another thing that probably could have been improved a bit is that if you rotate the map, you can see, all these walls going through the field. So probably that's also not intentional. Alright, next entry is from Ball Pit Warrior. He said he made this recreation of a town from a obscure game, Snowboard Kids 2, which he played a lot as a kid. Now, I looked at some videos of the game. I think the town actually is quite faithful. Something which I did not really particularly like is that it all looks a bit stale. There's not much movement here. I think maybe if there were some characters from the game walking around here as entertainers, it would have made it feel a little bit more alive. Because I believe in the videos I saw, the town was moving all over the place. So yeah, some movement definitely I think would have made it look a little bit more interesting. But still, I do think the buildings look pretty nice. Okay, here's the entry from M4X. He recreated a town from Assassin's Creed. I see some guests walking the plank here, leap of faith. So here we have this little castle town. Now I haven't actually played any of the Assassin's Creed games, but I have seen videos from it. Yeah, I think it does quite capture the feel of an Assassin's Creed game with this harbor town. Quite a lot of movement going on. Of course, there's this coaster that travels through the entry. I quite like the coaster actually, except maybe this endless string of inversions maybe is a little bit overdone. But yeah, I think it travels through this town quite nicely. I also really like the Ferris wheel with all these cog wheels next to it. So yeah, I think it's a fun entry. It's fun to watch. Okay, next up is the entry from Johnson. Now Johnson actually recreated several buildings from one of my favorite games, Command & Conquer Generals. I love that game. Yeah, I played a lot of it, especially against my friends. Always a lot of fun. But here we can see a power plant. I believe this is the command center, not really sure actually. Here we can also see one of the Chinese buildings. And there's also one of the GLA buildings over here. I'm not really sure if the coaster was necessary. Maybe it would have been nice to just see some vehicles here drive around. Because I think this construction dozer is actually quite nicely done. So I probably would have liked to see a bit more stuff like that instead of a coaster. But yeah, overall, I think these buildings over here are really cool, and they're actually pretty recognizable. So that's really nice. Okay, here's the entry from Lawrence Lot. He actually made a map themed after Super Smash Bros. For the Nintendo 64. So here we can see several of the maps. So there's a Pokemon Center over here and a Pokemart. Over here we can see Hyrule Castle. Here we can see the Kirby stage, Wispy Woods with the big tree. And I really like how Lawrence Lot did these fighters. You can see Pikachu over here. Over here we can see Kirby. Not really sure who this is. Let me quickly pause the game. Here we have Link, and here's Mario, and they're battling it out over here. I think that's really creative. We can also see Mushroom Kingdom over here. I think see some of these piranha plants coming out of these tubes. So it's just really fun to explore. Really fun to see all these recreated stages, and it's really fun to watch all these fighters battling it out over here. So yeah, really fun entry from Lawrence Lot. Okay, here's the entry from Lurker. Now Lurker did something really clever. He recreated the scene from Chris Sawyer's Locomotion. It's not a very well known game, but I believe it's the game he made after Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. And it's basically a spiritual successor to Transport Tycoon. And it also uses the same kind of railway tracks as Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 does. So I think that's really clever to recreate a game that kind of uses the same art style as Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. Now you can see several of these houses over here, these buildings. There's also some industry here, and yeah, I think you can also see some of the foliage done here really nicely. Also like how Lurker did the land texturing under the railways. So yeah, just a really fun entry from Lurker, and just really nicely done. Okay, then we have the entry from Fitwell. Oh yeah, he actually recreated a scene from the game The Return of the Obra Dinn. Believe in this game you're an insurance inspector, and you have to go visit the ship where everybody died. Well, I haven't played the game myself, but I did look at the trailer for the game, and it has this really distinct art, black and white art style, and that's what Fitwell also tried to recreate. Yeah, I think he did an amazing job at the ship. The ship looks beautiful. I really like how it decorated with all these masts, these sails, also all the rigging. Even used some chocolate bars here as part of the ship. And of course there's also this big kraken right next to the ship. with these big arms coming out of the water. I also really like how he did all these clouds with these diagonal mine train coaster pieces. He actually did them from all angles, but in such a way that they never really block the view of the ship. And the moon is also always visible. So yeah, I think Fidwell did an amazing job here. Yeah, with all the details on the ship, but also the ship itself. Yeah, it just looks so nice. I think it actually works really well with this palette. So yeah, just I don't really know the game, but from what I've seen, Fidwell just did an incredible job here. Okay, the next entry is from The Brew. Now, you may recognize this from a certain game, which of course is Guitar Hero. So what The Brew tried to do here is, yeah, try to make its own DKMP stage for the game Guitar Hero. You can see all these guests jumping here. I believe you do that by putting the guests in a maze and then deleting the maze pieces, which just keeps the guests in place and jumping every now and then until their energy depletes. Also lots of litter here on the map. Not really sure if he placed it all, if he let all the guests do that manually, or if he used the new litter editor. Also see Chester Bennington here. But yeah, I really like how The Brew did these these notes that the player has to play. Every now and then they pop by, as you can see here. I think that's a really creative way of recreating a Guitar Hero stage. Now, I do feel the outside of the map here maybe could have used a little bit more attention. It does feel a little bit barren. But yeah, I do think The Brew did a nice job capturing some of the details that you will see on when you're playing Guitar Hero. For example, like this rock meter over here. But yeah, really nice job from The Brew. Okay, here's the entry from Jazzanden. Now, once again, it's another Age of Empires entry. Here you can see the player who is in the I don't know what age it is, but he's getting attacked by a player who is already in the feudal stage, I believe, and yeah, he's probably going to lose. But yeah, I think Jazzanden did an incredible job recreating all these buildings from the game. I think they look really nice. Now, I haven't really played the game myself, but I have looked at pictures, and I do really like the way that Jazzanden recreated this style of building here. But also the style of the workers here. You can see lots of frozen entertainers here, all in a blue costume. And here you can see the opposing army in the red colors. And I do really like how Jazzanden recreated these units with these horses and these Roman warrior entertainers. Yeah, I think Jazzanden did an incredible job here. I think it looks really cool. Okay, here's the entry from Sol X. He created a wheat field over here, and that's pretty much it. Well, except there's a sign here saying cake, so let's rotate around. And then we see that it's not an ordinary field, but yeah, under here we can see a big laboratory. You can see a go-kart traveling around here. It has some teleporting sections, and this is of course based off the game Portal. It's actually quite fun seeing these go-karts jump into this beam over here and then teleporting away and popping up somewhere else again. Of course, with the well-known orange and blue portals. Yeah, lots of stuff over here. Here we can see GLaDOS. Here we can see an elevator to the surface. You can see some holes in here where you can see some things where you can see through. Yeah, I think this is just a really nice map that Sol X created. You can also see some stuff riding around here on these suspended rails. Just lots of cool little details everywhere. I think Solex did a wonderful job capturing the feel of Portal. Also like how all these guests actually have orange trousers and shirts, just to make them look a little bit more like test subjects. But yeah, a wonderful entry from Solex. And by the way, if you want to check out these entries for yourself, you can download them for free from my Discord server. The link's in the video description, and just look for the mini contest archive. There you can download all these entries for yourself and check them out. Alright, we've now entered the territory of scores above 9. We had 4 entries which had a score above 9 in this contest, which I think is insane. Anyway, we have this. Here we have the entry from Rhythm. Rhythm built this, I believe it's called Tostarena. But yeah, it's a desert with a red sand, and there's these really colorful buildings. I think it's a beautiful scene here. Looks like there's also a go-kart track here. And he also did a really nice job recreating the ship that Mario uses in this game. Well, yeah, I think these buildings look amazing. They're so nice and colorful, and yeah, they're just built up so nicely. Some even have a bit of a half diagonal, so an angle that you normally don't see in this game, and that's something that's really hard to do. And it's so hard to do even that it only really works from one angle. Here's what we see if we look from another angle. So yeah, it's definitely only meant to be looked at from one angle. So I think that alone just makes it amazing that it got such a high score. So yeah, only one angle really works, but it's done in such an incredible way that people still liked it. And I also think it's amazing. But yeah, personally I couldn't give it a 10 because of the one angle thing. But yeah, it's just it's just an incredible entry from Rhythm. Really put a smile on my face. Okay, here's the entry from Levels, previously known as Raymond L. And yeah, for this entry we have to speed it up a bit. And let's also zoom in a bit. But yeah, he made this television, and somehow with all these elevators that are teleporting, he just made a lot of pixel art that scrolls by as you watch the television. First was Diddy Kong. Now over here we have Donkey Kong, also with pixel art. And as you watch, a lot of characters and items from Super Nintendo and Nintendo games will pop by. We have the Luigi sprite over here. Next up is a mushroom, and on the back of the television you can actually see all the characters that come by. Now I'll put it back to normal speed because it's getting a bit laggy. Yeah, there's just hundreds and hundreds of vehicles going by here. It must have taken Raymond quite some time to make all the pixel art for all these games. Here you can see some of the magic happening behind the screens. Now I have no idea how this works, so you'll probably just have to check it out for yourself. But yeah, I think it's incredible, the stuff that's all happening here. It's quite amazing, and yeah, I think it's incredible how Raymond L made all this pixel art. I think it must have taken quite some debugging to get everything right. But yeah, a wonderful entry from Levels. Okay, now there's just 2 entries remaining. I will first show both of them, and after that I will reveal which one is the winner of this round. Okay, here's the entry from Enox. Now Enox recreated a stage from Super Nintendo Mario Kart. And here he's actually showcasing with the stuff you can do with his new plugin, the Litter Editor. Now it hasn't been released yet, but yeah, he just used a lot of litter, for example, to create these coins that are on the road, but also these arrows over here. But also all this pixel art that's here on the side of the stage. And damn, that's just this must have taken quite a lot of work to create all the pixel art for these objects. You can see a banana peel here. See a character, Cheep, can see a Yoshi egg, piranha plant, a star, mushroom, there's a boo, there's a lightning bolt, a feather. I mean, yeah, how we created these is just amazing. Yeah, I really love the way he did all of these. It's just so much fun to look at. What I also like is these texts here that show the times and of all the characters, and this actually matches the way the times are displayed in the original game really well. They used the same color scheme. That's really nice. Also the stage itself, I think it looks really cool, and it's really fun to watch the go-karts travel around on this stage. So yeah, just a wonderful entry from Enox. It's always a joy when he enters one of the contests. Okay, and here's the final entry. This entry is from DM215. It's a new player on my Discord, and he recreated the Academy of Raya Lucaria, if I pronounce that correctly, from the game Elden Ring. Now, I haven't played the game myself, but I did look at pictures, and wow, this is just incredible. All the little scenery pieces that were used here, a lot of pieces from the expansions. But yeah, the way the landscaping is done here with all these black rocks here, even some of these castle towers used as rocks, up to the lower level, the base of the towers. All these windows here with all the spires on it. Even used some of these tents as the spires for some of these buildings. Just so much clever use of all these objects, but also we can see some different kinds of rocks over here. It's just so hard to believe that this player just made his first contest entry here. These buildings, they look so incredible. Just so much detail packed into this entry. It's just so incredible to look at. I definitely recommend you to download these entries for yourself from my Discord server and to check them out. There's just so much to unpack here. I cannot possibly cover everything in this video, or else it would get very long. But long story short, this is just a wonderful entry. It's a great looking castle. There's a little bit of glitching going on here and there, but it all just looks so nice that I think I can forgive DM215. Alright, and with that, it's now time to reveal which one of these two entries is the winner of this round. Is it this wonderful Academy from DM215? Or is it the Mario Kart Super NES stage from Enox? And the winner of the mini video game contest is... DM215. Now, it doesn't happen often that a new player immediately appears and wins a contest, but it looks like it happened here. This academy is just incredible. Even if you're not familiar with the game, there's just so many cool details here. Such great object usage that I think this is really a very deserved winner. But of course, Enox's entry was also really cool. So many amazing entries in this round. Of course, only one can be the winner. I do hope you enjoyed watching all these entries. If you liked the video, please give it a like. It would really help out my channel. And of course, if you want to see more of these videos, remember you can always subscribe to my channel. Alright, new mini contests will start soon. If you want to join one of these contests, just become a member on my Discord server, and everything else will be explained there. Alright, that was it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again in the next one. See you later.